And we're live. Okay. Whew. Superboot. Hey, so ha. Hey, my name's Ray Bowling, if you don't already know me. Um, and this is my live stream, my annual ramble. Uh, in prior years, these live streams were more of a financial report than anything about what I did with all the Patreon money. But things have changed in the last year. So if you want all that information, that is for patrons now. It's on Patreon because that makes a lot more sense. uh, Instead, the annual ramble this year is called Superboot. Why? Because, well, two reasons. Number one, I'm not at Superbooth this year. I can't really afford it. The module isn't ready, but it's had a lot of updates. We'll get into that in a minute. And third reason, really good reason, I tore my Achilles tendon. So, yeah, as it turns out, I mean, I definitely learned last year, Superbooth involves lots and lots and lots of walking. Uh, it's incredible how much walking you actually have to do. Um, so yeah, yeah, those are all those are my reasons for not being able to attend this year, which is, it is a bummer, but it'll be okay. Um, Now, sort of a recap. Yeah, it's okay. It's healing. Anyway, yeah, we're just getting rolling here. I'm gonna stream for the hour, make some music, talk about the changes, talk about release dates, talk about events that are coming up, and I may repeat myself. I'm sorry for those of you watching this as a recording after the fact. Just kind of expecting a few people to trickle in, and I may repeat myself for their benefit. So as you hop in, let me know. I'm just watching the OBS chat. Um, so if you're already in there and you see new people, let them know to say like, or say hey to them. Say hey to each other. That'll help me out. And I'll try my best to answer questions in real time, which is what I like about doing live streams. Um, there's some announcements, but yeah, let's talk about Superbooth last year, where I was a year ago. So let me, one second. I need to pull myself over here and pull this over here and edit the properties of that and change it to where'd it go? Control center. No, no, no. Live. I love live stream, isn't it? It's amazing, isn't it? Oh my gosh. All right. First of all, there's like no. Oh my window capture. Yep. I swear. What's with this thing? It's the nope. Add a in Image slideshow? Oh man. Okay. Well, wowzers. Where's like screen capture, video capture device, display capture? Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Sorry. Wow. Oops. Um, yeah, I'll just do it like that because the Windows, the window mode doesn't want to work. Anyway, um, yeah, Superbooth 2023. This is kind of where we were. I had the scanning mode was this left and right animation. I still have Rev 2 boards in the studio that I can pull up. Um, but yeah, that was the scan mode. The calibration mode was this line. It was very flickery, which had to do with the display. And if I pause the video, the most significant changes we're going to see today are that the old panel had these ambiguous arrows right here and here, a dot. So if you saw the Emily Hopkins or Turbo Tambourine videos, this is the panel you were looking at. And a bunch of the stuff was wrong. If you came to Superbooth, this is the panel you were looking at. And now some of it is been changed. Some of the rest of the features are very similar. Maybe if I really wanted to show apples to apples, I should have set up this demo case in exactly the same way. But excuse me, I've been kind of busy doing all sorts of wacky stuff. Anyway, the social media for doing Superbooth was probably the most fun. Finally teasing the release of the module where I showed off. I was starting Wii Fit, and I got this. I got the controller working, and it was like this was the funniest thing to me. I booted up the game, and it's like, wow, it's been 853 days since your last session. And as it turned out, like I'd kind of stopped playing the game when I realized, oh my gosh, I know what I can make a module with the balance board. So I kind of had to confiscate my own controller for the game, which is so I had this like counter 853. If you want to do 853 plus 365, all right, we've been working on this module for 1,218 days now, something like that. I had to give my board a gender. Started from scratch. I gave it some generic me. Yeah, and then and this is what I shared with people that that I was going to Superbooth and I needed to turn on this balance board in order to uh, that made I love this stuff. It's so funny. Making the me and then put for my suitcase. Paired them. Yep. And it says step on and I weighed my suitcase. And this is yeah. I was just trying to get under just trying to get on the weight limit for the airplane. And then I got on the airplane with, my stuff and um, woohoo! I was reading a book, flew over a Great Lake, had a layover in Chicago, watched that Weird Al movie. Yeah, hopped on a train, and made my way to Superbooth. And there's a lot of walking, which is why I didn't go this year. It's in this big park with a lot of trees. Hold on, actually, let me pull up the. Let me make sure that I'm watching the chat. No, no chat yet. Okay, that's cool. Fine. Yeah, it's in this big sort of forest park. I was really happy to be there. Yeah, a little confusing with like how the booths are named because there's different like areas, and I was like, we're in 1004, and I don't see my name. What the heck? No, well, there's different O4s. I found this to be one of the most confusing things about it. But then, yeah, eventually found myself. There I am. That's me. And yeah, I got there and I hooked up. I set up, and this is when disaster started to strike because when you're in Germany, it's 240 volts. Foreshadowing. I set up my little stand and I got my speakers, and actually, yeah, there's not a lot of pictures between this moment and the next moment, which is many hours later because the tent kept losing power. Um, and I fried one of my battery chargers, and I wasn't able to charge my phone. So I had to make my way to the where I was staying and took this picture as I was like really frustrated. Uh, anyway, finally figured out where I was going. Um, had a completely pointless ride on a Lime scooter because you're only allowed to park them in certain places. Had a really interesting walk on a horse trail back. Uh, Lots of, like I said, miles and miles of walking. But then, yeah, the first day got started. Good old buddy Steve got me a replacement charger. We had some interesting problems with trying to use the balance board on grass. Um, Hold on, where's my head? You probably can't see me because I'm like way down here. But that's okay. Hey. Yeah. And Superbooth was crazy. I remember endorphins being there. I remember Soma was there. I remember talking to the Make Noise folks, which was very nice because they always say hello to me. We're like on a first name basis. I'm not bragging, but it's nice. It's really nice that they remember me. So thank you, people from Make Noise. And yeah, then the demos really kind of got off going. Um, this is probably my favorite clip. And lunch, and there was like the Korg thing. I can never remember the name of this company, but that was cool to meet the guy who made that. Apollo View was in our booth. They were really big this year. Shout out. Making Sound Machines had this beautiful display. They were also in our booth. And hey, shout out. A lot of DIY kits. Stein was there. He helped out a lot on the module. Shout out. He just won a big fat award yesterday at this year's Super Booth. Congratulations. There were concerts, there were friends, there was lots of Plinkies. We're playing around with Plinkies and showing people how to use Plinkies. Dinners. Oh my gosh, the train system was really annoying. There's lots of graffiti everywhere. Lots of demos. Finally getting to try out things that I'd never gotten to try before. And there was a lot of joking around and showing the module off to people. So you've probably seen a lot of these clips as Instagram snippets, but you know, Too Many Synths was there, SciFam was there. I kind of sort of made friends with some of the electron people, I think, on the train or on the bus or something. Um, yeah, DeBose, who made my TSNM, he was so excited when he saw that I had the TSNM because he said, I never actually seen anybody using my module before. And I thought that that was really sweet to be like, yeah, I use your module. I like it a lot. Um, hold on, this is really going to bother me because I did the, hold on. I know what I did. Uh, there we go. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm in the corner now. Hey, sorry. Okay, so anyway, um, yeah, I had my cool shoes on, and oh yeah, this thing was awesome. I hope they still make it. I didn't get a lot of good footage. I don't even remember what it's called. Uh, 200 something. Whatever this guy was. Okay, 200. I don't know. I can't remember. But this thing was cool. Um, Faded was kind of made friends with them. I really like their colorful modules, and I really want to promote like more companies that do like colorful stuff. I think that was cool. Let's see, hanging out with friends, making videos, riding trains, and then launching the Kickstarter. Um, then I did this wild like publicity stunt thing where like I fired up the synth on the battery and I walked with it turned on all the way back to Superbooth on the last day. And this was great because it meant I got to catch the attention of Dieter, who I don't know he would have talked to me otherwise, but he said that's cool, and I got my picture with him. Shout out to Chris who took these photos, who walked with me from the train station. He also just got an award for the best monosynth um, sound workshop. Good job. Uh, so anyway, Superbooth is crazy. I would love to go back next year when everything is done. DIY day was probably even more eventful, maybe. There was like concerts and building stuff, and would do again. The DIY community is like bonkers. And if you aren't really into modular, like I highly recommend it. Anyway, uh, yeah, Superbooth. It's a good scene. It's just expensive, so it's kind of hard to get there on a budget, especially if you live in the States. So I took a bunch of pictures, had a lot of fun, ate a lot of bread, rode a lot of trains, met some people, you know, ate some sausages, and generally just had a good time. Um, I would like to go back someday. All right, so that sign is epic and also sort of unhelpful. Haha. Yeah, which I think I could say that about a lot of the signs that were there. More, you should have seen the signs that were like only in German, explaining how the trains were out of order, and I was having to like wrangle people like, "Hello, does anyone speak English? Can someone explain to me like which train I'm supposed to be able to take?" Yeah, it takes a while to find a nice person, but thank you to those nice people who did stop and help me. Anyway, um, okay, so let's get into the biggest flip. Um, so again, yeah, I debuted. Let's do the table. Yeah. All right. So this is the module that I took to Superbooth as we were looking at, and you know, we kind of talked about it. Not a lot's changed on this particular module. Boy, it's been through some stuff. I've had to solder on some more bodges. to repair some stuff that's fun on the back. Broke one of the faders. This thing is just wall art now. It doesn't really work anymore. So I'm going to put that away. And instead, let me move this out of the way. Here's what I have been working with. All right. So it looks a little bit scrappy, but you're looking at a prototype that, like, again, I didn't really feel comfortable taking to Superbooth, but I'll show it off here. And if you want even more detail, of course, you can check out Patreon, and there's more detail, sort of the journey of like how this happened and why it happened. But here's the short version. This is a laser cut plastic panel, and this is just like a color printed piece of paper that I used a craft knife to cut out the holes. And this is a quick way for me to iterate on the final changes. So the feature set has been finalized. So that is the best news about the biggest foot right now, is that I know exactly what it's going to do in the final version. The unfinished business is writing just a couple of the very last features and a couple of bug fixes. Okay, so anyway, let me power this on and show you what it does. So I'm going to put it back in this holster. So it's easier to flip over. And let's power up this small case for demonstrations. Okay, so the first thing you will notice is that the animation has changed. So let me change the focus here a little bit. Right, so the animation has changed. It's a little bit more clear about what's happening here. We are scanning for the Bluetooth device. So previously, it was just a red line. Now we have an RGB display, and I can tell the user a little bit more clearly what's happening. This seems like trite and like, was that really worth making like 6 months? But no, believe me, like this sort of stuff is crucial and key for like good accessibility. Okay, so I'm gonna find my board, which is under the table over here. We're going to do some under the table kind of stuff today. Hit the little red button on the bottom. And then we get this screen. Now this screen used to be the wiggly line, and now it's affectionately being called the blue reading as larger lights because of the camera. Yeah, it's yeah, the brightness levels might be tweaked later. I'm also getting a little bit of noise today for unknown reasons, probably just because I'm trying to present. But yeah, it looks a little bit better in person. But I tell you what, it looks a lot. It looks way better than the previous version. But anyway, all right. So this screen, I'm affectionately calling the calibration dude. Um, I'd love a catchy name that's gender neutral, but okay. This is calibration dude, and I'm going to set down the board and step on it, and nothing's happening. Right, so what's not happening is that his arms aren't going up. So there's a problem that does happen in the pairing between module and board. And this is one of the things that I've been trying to diagnose for a while now. And I haven't really talked about it until now, but it's perhaps will be fixed in a firmware update. But until then, Calibration Dude is going to help you know that this issue is happening. The only way I know how to solve it at the moment is to pop one of the batteries out of the board, put it back in. Something about that makes the board stop trying to pair to the previous device, I think is what's happening. It might also have to do with there's an exchange of like secret pin numbers that have to go between the two devices. And believe me, I've been working on it. All right, anyway, I didn't touch the module, but it's gone back to Bluetooth scanning mode. So I'm going to hit the red button again on the balance board. I'm going to hit the red button. Red button. Red button. Okay. And as you can see, Calibration Dude still not happy. So now we have to go to the sort of the last resort. Sometimes this happens if more often than not, this happens to me with like in development. Like it gets really mad if I flash the microcontroller and it makes me do this. So I have to turn the whole thing off and on again. All right. So turn it on again. And then button calibration dude. All right, so now you see him put his hands up, and I squeeze right here, puts his hands up. That lets you know that you successfully made a connection. Down the road, this feature will remain, but it'll just let you know just in case you're doing things incorrectly. So when you see the board beneath his feet, that lets you know you're passing the threshold because there's a 5 kilogram minimum. That's about the weight of a Chihuahua. Oh, and actually, now that we've got Calibration Dude going, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'll stand on and turns green. And now we have the blob that we're all familiar with. Okay, so let me change the camera a little bit and actually show you my extremely rough draft user's manual that's going to come with the module. Believe me, it's going to look way better than this. I'm working on it, but rough layout. So here's the first page, and it's going to, got an itch, sorry. It's going to kind of walk you through a lot of this stuff, including, here, let's just go top to bottom. Number one, use rechargeable batteries. I'm going to really try to push and promote using nickel metal batteries instead of alkaline. You can source yourself a balance board. This one's drawn a little bit funny because I also want people to know that you can use third-party controllers, the ones that were made by other companies, not Nintendo. It works with any of the balance boards that were compatible with Wii Fit. You need to plug in the power with red stripe up, though the module does have labels now here that tell you where the red stripe should be, where it's clearly indicated here as -12. And I made a point to tell you how many milliamps that module is using. I feel like this would be I would love for this to catch on. Tell me just right here instead of me having to go to modular grid. There's a few tips about how to not hurt yourself. Oh, right. We'll get into, I'll get to this in a second. A few tips about how to not hurt yourself and the right kind of footwear. So, socks. Socks are bad. If you read the official We Fit manual or sort of user's guide on the balance board itself, it does not recommend socks, which, today I'm breaking the rules. So, hold on, let me take these off in the name of safety. Ah, yeah, can't be doing that. Don't want to break any rules. Yeah, because we don't want to slip. That's the main thing. You want grip so you don't slip. Nobody wants to fall over. But use it at your own risk, obviously. Um, okay, let's get into the options. These are new. There are two switches on the back. They've always been there, but they never really worked before. So let me turn this light on so you can get a better view. And they are very small, so excuse me, I'm going to use a little tool to flip them. Actually, let me just tweak the camera like this. Right, so there's two switches. One of them says, need to turn it a little bit more. Okay, so one of them says this end up, and it's really saying like, do you want to flip the module upside down? So if I push it in this direction, then this end is up. That's easier to see if I push the reset button on the back. And you can clearly see the Bluetooth logo oriented in this direction now. And vice versa. If I flip it back, now this end is up. So that's why all the labels on the module are sideways, so that you can orient the module however you want. It's one of the big things. I'm going to put it in the original. Then there is a second switch, which has never really worked before, called Uni-Bi. So if I switch this to Bi, then we're going to get bipolar outputs from all of these. It goes -5 to 5. And then the other way is going to be unipolar 0 to 10. So those are the two options. They are detailed in the manual. They're really not complicated, but I just figured I'd go through them. I'm going to leave it in unipolar right side up, kind of as originally designed for the rest of the demo. But if you want me to, goof off more, I guess let me know. Woohoo! Okay. Now, the basic function live mode is purple. And as we all know by now, the outputs are connected to the associated outputs. So I'm going to go to the voltage monitor here. Actually, let me take this out. Just save on space. Right. So, yep. I'll plug this into the top, plug it into number 1, and you can see the line going up and down. So a significant change about the blob as compared to the prior versions, which were, again, in the Emily and Turbo Tambourine demos. Number one, it looks better on camera. So this is not a display that has to cycle through the different scan lines like the previous version. These are addressable LEDs. So you can see it here on camera. Second thing, the position of the blob used to be sort of quantized, sort of. And as you can see now, it is now completely anti-aliased and extremely smooth. So I can move from left to right quite slowly, and it just feels like an extension of your body. It, it has a higher resolution than the actual resolution of the screen, if that makes sense. So this was always the goal, but it just, it wasn't ready in those earlier iterations. Okay, so that is a big, that's big changes already. Next, there is a little bit of color coding. So when I press record, it turns red. Now that change might not have been as easy to see on camera, but we did. We went from purple to red. It's easy to see. Now, oh gosh, there I go, swinging my arms. Want to retouch the camera mount, reattach the camera mount. Live video, here we go. All right, so yeah, not implemented in this version is something I want to work on. An indicator that you how much recording time you have left, because it's not totally clear. So if we've definitely run out of recording buffer at this point, you hit record again, and it goes into looping mode. And it's blue to let you know that you're in looping mode. I'm going to hold down Shift and press Reset, and that puts you into one-shot mode. So now, pressing Reset always resets. Increase the sensitivity here. This is backwards right now, I'm sorry. And this knob is now the speed. And this is also backwards because, sorry. But yeah, this is, yeah, there you go. There's one shot. Hold Shift and reset to go to looping. And, this is stuff that's I'm still ironing out bugs. As you saw, it jumped into live mode a little bit. It's not supposed to do that, but yeah, I'm gonna iron it out. And it's stopping at the end of the loop when it shouldn't be. Okay, so more bugs. There's bugs. I'm working on it. Oh, no, it isn't stopping. There's just extra time in the recording, which brings me to the next feature. Trimming. This has not been implemented yet, but I'll tell you about it anyway. As you can see indicated on the panel here, there's going to be a way to trim the beginning and the end. So I'm undecided at this point about holding Shift or Reset to enable that alternative mode for the faders. I think it'll be Shift, but yeah, the plan is to effectively hold Shift, futz with the faders, and then yeah, you'll be trimming the beginning and the end. So what that means is, here, let's go in order. Sorry. Let's go through, what did we do? We did the basics. We talked about, so yeah, press record to start recording, press record again to stop. Play begins playback and stops recording. Okay. One shot, should stop at the end of the buffer. Loop will continue forever. Shift and play will switch between one shot mode and loop mode. All right, so now we're kind of in intermediate topics. Sensitivity can be adjusted in live or play modes, but it's not recorded. So this is how revision 2 was. Um, this sensitivity slider this is upside down. I don't know why I did this. Hold on. I could change the code right now. That's part of the reason I love doing this kind of live stuff. We can we can make tweaks, but yeah, let's do it. We got a little bit of time. No, we don't. I want to keep this to an hour. I want to keep it to an hour. Well, we won't do that. We won't do that. We won't do that. But it'll be the first thing I do as soon as I'm done. But anyway, yeah, you can see the sensitivity is like way up, and you can actually overshoot where you are on the display. I think I'm gonna squish um, the dimensions, but it just for some reason it's got to be a split difference because it still feels pretty good right now. But it does need to sort of like match reality over here. See, because you're going way off, you're hitting 10. So it's got to feel the same on both sides, and that's what I'm shooting for in the final, you know, firmware. If I play back, I can reduce here, let me put it in loop mode. I can reduce the sensitivity all the way to 0. So it's not doing anything anymore. And then I can bring the sensitivity back up on the loop. So you've got at all times a control over how wild that recording is. That makes this playable from my point of view. All right, the next thing, time stretch will occur in loop mode if clocks are plugged in. So the reset jack will adjust clock divisions while holding shift and turning the speed knob. So out, just turn the knob. Wait, why did I write it like this? Is very first draft, isn't it? But yeah. So I was starting to work on this past week. It, like most clock sync things, is taking significantly more time, but than I thought. But I did successfully. I can show this off. I can put this into clock output. Start this. And let's output clock number 1 and put it into the clock here. And I need to plug in the USB on the back. And serial. Mm-hmm. This is stop. No. Yeah, I don't think that's what I meant to do. Now I've killed the thing, and I'm not getting the monitor. It's because I'm not monitoring. What did I do? It's only because I'm live, of course. It's only because I'm live that it's not doing the things that it normally would do. My print statements are not where they normally would be. my print statements are disabled. No, it should be printing. It should be. I just need to close that. Doing it live. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been a heck of a week trying to get the clock stuff working. Writing these like small tests that I was so hoping to get uh, something out of. Wow. Okay, now I can't even get. That it? Okay. Well, here I'll just show you the screenshot. Wow, I can't seem to. It's because I'm doing things live. All right. So the yeah, let me unplug that. Just forget about that. So the yeah, the clock speed is successfully being detected. I was having trouble with some of the getting the wrong edge of the clock, but it seems to be working now. So like now I'm on to the next step where I'm doing like the division and multiplier so that you can determine internally without having to use a clock division module um, where on the bar you want your loop to synchronize from. Time stretching shouldn't be too much more effort than that because I'm already technically time stretching with the speed dial. So I just have to make that quantize to the BPM of what you want effectively. Uh, so again, holding shift and turning that dial is for the incoming clock. When you're in sync mode, turning the dial normally, this is what I was trying to say in the manual, but I need to word it better, um, is going to affect sort of the output quantization. So yeah, that's the plan for that. And to turn off sync mode, just unplug the jack. So it's sort of an extra switch. It's a switched input, and I'm now detecting that. And then the final feature, this is probably the coolest feature of all, is this. Let's connect the board again. Get past calibration, dude. Now I will probably have to focus the camera a little bit and show you a little bit closer so you can see the color changes. But I'm going to press record. It's red. And now I'm in loop. Okay. And I'm going to press shift and record to add. It turns orange. Press record again. Now, what just happened, it's a little hard to see, but this is two recordings glued together. And by combining the trimming, this is the most of the advanced topics. Trimming lets you, you move the faders to trim, the beginning and the end. Then you can add stuff to the end. And here's an example. So here's like a buffer that's just like regular. It's full. You trim it to make it shorter. And then at the moment that you decide to add, the trimmed away material gets deleted. You get that buffer back and you can record into it. And you can repeat this process as many times as you want to effectively make a sequence. Now, the last two pages of this manual have not been written, but I think that that's pretty much all the features. There are also a few big, cool announcements that I want to share with you. And then I just want to jam out for a little bit and talk about some more stuff. And, you know, let's do the, let's come over. Is this, hold on. All right, make a new container, move to a new window. Okay, where's OBS? Oh man, right here. Okay, window share, window share. There we go. Okay, okay, all right. The web store is up. uh, Boy howdy, did it take me a long time, but the web store is up. And the pre-order page, the includes pictures of sort of the older version, but it's going to be this newer version. So I have less than 10 of these modules of this revision, and I'm working to make them complete. The panels will be complete. I'll update the pictures and stuff. But if you really want to be one of the first people to get your hands on it, we're looking at June. And to really kick things off, I'll tell you, you'll learn more about it on Instagram. There's going to be an event in Raleigh called the Hobnob in Carborough on June 1st, where I'm going to have a couple of those, hopefully, ready to sell. So you will also notice the price is reduced from what it was on Kickstarter because I'm not dealing with Kickstarter fees anymore. And the regular price, $240 without a board, is what I actually recommend. I want people to source their own boards. It's not hard to do, and they are kind of a pain in the butt to ship. And I'm going to actually maybe restrict anyone not in the continental U.S. from ordering a balance board from me. Like I think you can find one on your own. It's not hard. And then the last thing, big thing, is coming attractions. If you go to swampflux.square.site, you can learn some teases about some new modules that are coming. And this is also announcing that I'm going to NobCon in September. I will be sharing a table with Cray Emporium. Ray is a good friend of mine. So if you want to come hang out in Chicago with us and try these out and buy one in person, you can do that this September, definitely. Whatever weird little bugs I may still have in June will be 100% ironed out by then. I'll just go ahead and say it, the black panels will be done by then. But right now I'm just shooting for sort of colorful panel option. That's what's going to come with these pre-orders. If you want to hold off, I totally understand. But yeah, we're working on another module called Dolly, and I'm working on my own personal second module, Probable Blooper. So I'm really hoping to have both of those ready for NobCon, but we'll see. I'm only going to promise some sort of prototype that y'all can play with when we're at NobCon this year. So that kind of does it for all of the announcements, and we're kind of at the top of the hour there. I think I could do a little bit less and come over here to show you some ways I like to use this thing. And since this is a live stream and it's casual and honestly, Turbo Jamboree, man, he might be the only guy in here. But we'll see. We'll see if anybody else drops in. But I'll just hang out for an additional, I don't know, let's say 30 minutes, and that'll give me enough time to just kind of goof off and show you some. I know cool things can happen if I give myself 30 minutes, always. So what I've got over here, sorry, I don't have a camera. Over here, I cannot get a camera to reach that far. Oh, that's not 100% true. I could use my phone. We could get creative. It is live. We're going to be creative. We'll find a way. But let me turn this on and get it paired up. Calibration dude is happy. Ooh, yeah. I really want you to see it, actually. This has the old panel and the old window. And you might think it doesn't look as good. It actually looks great. You gotta see this. This is really cool. Let me do just a second ago. There we go. Is that right set up? That's right. Yeah, that works. You can do that, at least for a little bit. I might have to switch back as the battery is limited. But see, if this has got the frosted display, you'll have to excuse the display moved up ever so slightly, so the front panel doesn't display. This one was really like forced together. But let me do the battery power cycle. See the dude. It doesn't look as good on camera. It looks pretty good to me. Yeah, maybe that's get on. Yeah. All right. And what I've got over here is a setup where I'm sitting. Well, tons of people have asked me about using the board in this way, and it works great. It works great. So let's see if I can get the. What is it? It's because I'm live. It's because I'm live. This is running Phaserville, by the way. Yeah, volume adjusted, sorry. All right, yeah. Let's have a look at the. Have a look over here. All right, so over here on the upper left, I've got the FM. On the front, I've got it hooked up to the VCA. On the right, I've got waveforming. So I'm a really big fan of this sort of like asymmetrical layout because it gives you dead spots, and dead spots are really useful for making things quiet, and that's how you get expression. So you've got to have a variety. You'll see what I mean. Let's put the speed up. Color other than yellow, too many yellow cables. Let's do this side. Hooked up to the linear speed of the alpha. Exponential. Now I've got it on the bottom. Which is also where it gets quiet. Change the VCA to use just regular envelope now. It's a little bit much. Let's just make the decay a little bit longer. So you can mix these methods. check this out. I just, I can do this. I can do this all day. Let's make it funkier. Let's make the envelope a lot shorter. Text too long. Hard to hit it. Getting more envelope out of the envelope than I'm supposed to right now. That's weird. Oh, it might be the MIDI device. Yep. Gotta love MIDI. Every MIDI host should have a panic button, and this one doesn't. Uh, yeah, it just doesn't want to connect now. Okay, well, all right. I guess that ends the demos, especially with that case. I think I'll kind of leave it there. It's all just to say, yeah, pre-orders are open. The module's almost done. Um, there's still a lot you can do even without all these updates, but I'm making the updates anyway so that it's a quality product. Thanks for waiting this long. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting up with my weird and wacky sort of video recording style. It's just kind of what works best for me. I find live just has sort of a, I don't know, let's me just be a real person, and I'm a little bit messy. It's just kind of who I am. But yeah, we're getting there. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, thank you. I'll see you around. Share this with your friends. Bye.